And by, and, there we go. And by virtue of the power and for the purpose aforesaid, I do order and declare that all persons held as slaves within said designated states and parts of states are and henceforth shall be free, and that the executive government of the United States, including the military and naval authorities thereof, will recognize and maintain the freedom of said persons. And I hereby enjoin upon the people so declared to be free to abstain from all violence, unless necessary by self-defense. And I recommend to them that in all cases when allowed, they labor faithfully for reasonable wages. And I further declare and make it known that such persons of suitable condition will be received into the armed forces of the United States to garrison forts, positions, stations, and other places, and to man vessels of all sorts in said service. And upon this act, sincerely believed to be an act of justice, warranted by the Constitution, upon military necessity, I invoke the considerate judgment of mankind and the gracious favor of Almighty God. Abraham Lincoln, January 1st, 1863.
Right.
Let your sun rise. Let your sun shine. Let it bring out the strength of God. Let it bring out. Let it bring down the house of cards. Let it bring down, break down. Maybe we bring up what could be changed. Maybe we bring up. How about we bring up what could be changed? How about we bring up, fix up, clean up and move on. Bring up, fix up, clean up and move on. Bring up, fix up, clean up and move on. Fix up and move on. Know what you got, we know what you're doing. Know what you got, we know. Know what you got, we know what's going. Know what you got, we know. Stop. You can't stop. Know what you got, we know. Can't stop. You can't stop. Know what you got, we know. Can't stop. You can't be stopped.
Awesome song.
Thanks. I don't know, I think I found it on a Juneteenth playlist. Welcome to Minnesota Valley Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. My name's Laura, I'm the minister here. Welcome to all of you. We come together bringing many stories of the journeys that have brought us to this current moment in our lives, and we come together to lift up the shared history of our country today in honoring the upcoming national holiday of Juneteenth, and in honoring these lands as the sacred birthplace and spiritual homelands of the Dakota and Anishinaabe peoples. Whatever stage your journey is in, whatever stories you hold, whether they are joyous or whether they need healing, we hope that in this hour and in this space you find companionship, as we know that the space between us is the space where relationships form, and that is the space where love is born again and again. Special welcome to any visitors or folks new in their journey with us. If you haven't had a chance to fill out a visitor form downstairs, we hope you'll do that. If we have your email address, then you'll get our Friday emails and know what's going on. As we continue with our service, as always, I want to thank Richard for running the tech today. Patrick Westcott and Christina Marshall are downstairs with the children, if we have any children today. I see one out there, but I don't see any parents up here. Anyway, they're downstairs waiting to see if we have children. What? No? Oh, there are 2 children down there. Oh, great. Where are their parents? They must be down there too. Well, I hope they'll come join us. I have a couple of announcements. We have the trifecta of things happening. That means there's going to be no staff present in the building this week. So Junie's on vacation. I have ministry days, which is a gathering of UU ministers for our online yearly assembly, but we're having a watch party at the Church of Minnetonka, so I'll be there during the week, and Maria has COVID, and Nicole's on summer break. So if you need anything, please email me or text me. I'm certainly available. I just won't be in the building, so if there's something you need in the building, make sure that you shoot me an email or call me and I can meet you here, or one of the plethora of people that have keys for this building can meet you here to help you with what you need. Special note about next week's service. So as I mentioned, the UU ministers are starting their annual gathering on Monday, which precedes our General Assembly, which is the gathering of all UUs across the country. That's just online this year. And they always have a big worship service at the end, which is what they're doing this year. And Jack Gady, who's at White Bear UU Church, and Arif Mamandi, who's at First Universalist Church in Minneapolis, had this great idea to rent out the Riverview Theater in Minneapolis and have a big watch party with all of the UUs together instead of us all having little small watch parties on our own. So that is going, the gathering for that is at 9:30 with a welcome at about 9:45, and then the worship will start at 10. And I believe some people might go picnicking at Minnehaha Falls. There's information about this in the Unison, our summer newsletter, which you can easily find on the website. Just click on newsletter and it's right there. It's also in the Friday email if you get the Friday email. A word about that service. It's also available to anybody to watch at home, but it's actually being broadcast at a later time, but all the components are together. Since it's an online service, it's people from different parts of the country putting it together. So watch parties have earlier access to watch it than the quote-unquote live broadcast of it, which I think is around noon. So you can watch it from home as well if you want later in the day, and you can find links for that at uua.org. It's summer. The smaller attendance is a hint of that. The warmer weather and the fact that I had to turn on all the ACs when I got here this morning to make sure it would be too hot in here, which we're fighting against today, am I right? Because, yeah, it's going to be a warm one today. As it is summer, we don't have our hospitality teams in place, and y'all know I love a good sign-up sheet. So I have the sign-up sheet here. There's spaces for greeters. That means saying hello to people, making sure visitors get the green greeter packets and sign up for the newsletter and the Unison or the Friday email, making sure that folks with kids get downstairs. There's ushers. Those are the folks that help pass out microphones during Joys and Sorrows and take the offering and maybe whatever else I might need a hand with during the service, and social hour, which is simply bringing some treats and helping to make coffee downstairs. Also, a word on that treat bringing during the summer. You don't have to sign up for social hour. Like if you have extra muffins at home or some fruit or vegetables that you're like, wow, this is too much from a party, you can always bring it here on Sunday and see if I bring stuff here to work all the time to help clean out my fridge. So, you know, you can always bring whatever too. Anyway, I'm gonna pass this around, so if you see a Sunday that you know you're gonna be here, it would be great if you sign up, and this will be going around all summer, so. And you can also find a link to that sign up, because it's on Sign Up Genius, which is a great tool. It's online. You can find that link in the Friday email all summer long. And I update it every week, which means I will put your name with your email address, if I have it, into the Sign Up Genius, which means you'll get email reminders that you signed up, which is kind of nice. So make sure that your email address is on there if you do sign up. Also, I know we've got some visitors and newer folks. You do not have to be a member here to bring muffins or say hello to people when they come in. Anybody can do those things. It's a great way to get to know folks. All right, moving on with this morning, I think we'll go with our chalice lighting next. I'm going to have you all read the bold. To be a Unitarian Universalist means we'll never be done with the work of telling the truth about oppression, the work of resisting that which denies anyone their humanity, the work of seeking out the spark of the divine with each other, no matter what. Thank you. Melanie DeMore is an excellent song leader and has a great spirit. And we have a video of her this morning teaching and leading the song Shine on Me as our opening hymn.
Hello, you family. I'm going to sing a song with you called Shine on Me. It's an amazing spiritual that anybody can sing. And in these days when the things that we're dealing with, the feeling separate and all of that, and things seem so hard, this is one of those songs that you just throw your head back, put it in your medicine kit. All you have to do is ask. And here's how it goes. Shine on me, oh shine on me. Let the light from the lighthouse shine on me, oh shine on me, yes, shine on me. Let the light from the lighthouse shine on me. Lift me up, oh, lift me up. Let the light from the lighthouse lift me up, oh, lift me up, yes, lift me up. Let the light from the lighthouse lift me up, oh, hold me close, yes, hold me close. Let the light from the lighthouse hold me close, yes, hold me close, so hold me close. Let the light from the lighthouse, please, hold me close. So shine on me, yes, shine on me. lighthouse, shine on me, oh, shine on me. Yes, shine on me. Let the light from the lighthouse shine on me.
That was wonderful. She was here recently, a few months ago, I think leading something. I didn't get a chance to go. Next time, I hope I do. Each week we gather, we set aside a few moments to lift up the joys and sorrows of those gathered. If you're on Zoom and you have something to share, you can share it in the chat, and we will share that here in the room. If you're on YouTube, you can share it in the comments with the YouTube community. And if you're here in person, you can raise your hand, and Usher will come around with a microphone.
Hello. 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 Hi, I'm Kathleen Coate. Some of you know my daughter Jenna. She grew up in this church. She's 21 and studying abroad right now in Argentina. She's heading into finals week, so give her all of your vibes. Send them that way. It's 6,000 miles away. Some of you have asked when she's coming back. Your guess is as good as mine. I've asked her that question a few times, and I've said, you know, we have a family reunion at the end of July, so it'd be great to have you back for that. She's like, oh yeah, I'll try. So we'll see. She's got some adventures planned in Peru and Bolivia. And, I will try to bring her here before she moves back to Madison for her senior year. You will recognize her right away. She's filling up on tattoos in Argentina because they are so cheap, so you won't be able to miss her. So thanks.
Hello, there we go. Good morning, I'm Lee, and earlier this morning, Leslie and I spoke to Holly Bruce. Doug has been in the hospital for a couple of days. He had surgery on his neck on Friday, I believe it was, yes, and he's doing fine. He's recovering well and doing fine, but he can't speak very well right now. His throat is rather swollen, but he had a birthday about, I think, 3 days before that. So if you feel like sending Doug Bruce a get well card or a belated birthday card, I'm sure that Doug would appreciate that very much.
Hello, I'm Sarah Collins, and today is the day we honor all people who choose to take on the role of a father. So I'll be remiss if I do not honor my co-parent and life partner, Matthew Schneider, who's done more than just simply given me a child, but has really been holding my hand and walking together through life as we go through this journey together. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Marcy Lovejoy, and I've been in a care center the last few months because I can barely see, but things are supposed to be coming along. End of this month, they can take out some stitches, will help a shunt work better. I know it gets complicated, but anyway, once that shunt helps the pressures come down, hopefully the cornea is going to work better. I do hope to get that vision back. Anyway, it's been a joy. My college roommate is back in this part of the country, and her little sister who's retired now, have come by to help me with a lot of stuff. My sister from Duluth has come down for a few weeks, and Nancy Buckman especially has always been so helpful to getting me here, etc. So I'm very thankful for all that, and it all makes me more joyous. Just one thing I'd like to ask, because I'm probably going to get meals from Open Arms or Presbyterian Home, so I'll basically be covered. But if anybody wants to bring me a good soup or banana bread or zucchini bread, I'd love it. So that's about it. Thank you.
This is Barb Becker. I spoke a couple weeks about my bluebirds that were thriving in my front yard, and I have 4 babies, and they should fledge within a week, and those parents are just awesome. I also have a whole yard full of bunnies who are my friends and pets, and one got hit the other day in front of my house. It's really sad to see your friend in pieces. But what was cool, a little bit later, I was sitting just looking, and this big shadow came down. I was like, and I looked over, and it was a bald eagle sitting in the middle of my street, and picked up the bunny, and off it went. My daughter said, "Ooh, good, reuse, reduce, reuse, recycle." So it's been a fun animal week for me.
I see there's a couple of joys and sorrows on Zoom. One is that the podium, well, it's kind of a concern. The podium mic is a little quiet for Zoom. Laura Tellis is sharing that. I don't know if you can comment. Is it any better now? Let us know. Oh, it's better now. All right. Well, it was a concern, and now it's a joy. There we go. Her joy is also that she's going on a cruise to Alaska in a couple of weeks. This is Laura Tellis. That's amazing. And she wishes a happy Father's Day to all the fathers here. Emily Kempe has a joy and a sorrow. A longtime friend had a much-needed surgery on Friday, but is running a fever and in the hospital. So it's a joy that she was able to get the surgery, but having a little bit of complications. So please send all your good thoughts to her, and pray, if you pray. I was going to tell you her name, and all I know her as is Miss Persons, because she was Emily's old band teacher. I don't know her first name. Miss Persons. Carla is sending hugs to all those fathers who are no longer with us. Also, just want to mention, I know that Carla's kids headed up to Camp Unistar this week, and so some of our youth are up at Camp Unistar this week and next week, or maybe it was last week and this week. Anyway, prayers for them that they have an amazing time and making lifelong friends and all those things that happen at Camp Unistar. I also have a sorrow. My first girlfriend, who was also my first best friend, died suddenly at age 55 a few weeks ago. I just found out about it last week. And it kind of caught me off guard. Somebody who's 55 dying suddenly of cardiac arrest or something. And she leaves behind 3 young adult to mid-adult boys. So I'm thinking about her kids. And when I went on her Facebook page, some people put that little quote up on the top under their profile picture. And it just said, "I wouldn't be the person I am without you in my life." So I just want to lift that message up to all of you too. I wouldn't be the person I am without you all in my life. And it was just a great message to see. And so holding her spirit and her wife and kids in my heart right now. Gail. Oh, Lorna and then Gail.
I was just going to thank Gail and Nan Corliss. They've been helping me move. I'm moving to St. Paul in about 2 weeks, and this in the midst of planning a funeral has been kind of a stressful time. But thanks to Gail and Nan for helping me move, and I know I'm going to use them again this week. Thank you.
I just found out this week that I'm the grandmother of a 6-year-old. Her name is Aurora, and my son's doing the right thing and stepping up, so I'm happy for that. And I hope to get to hold her one day.
Hi, I'm Marge Lorraine, and my partner Mary Waters is in a care center. She's a high fall risk. She's fallen 4 times in a month. And you know, when I call 911 now, they just say, "Oh, are you in 339?" That's our address. They don't even ask who I was. They said, "We'll be right there." And so they come and pick her up every time. And she's had surgery. She's been in the hospital, and now she's in the Aurora Care Center. And we'll be there for a while.
Is there anything else that anybody has this morning? No? We lift up all of the joys and sorrows and concerns that have been shared alongside those that are in the sanctuary of our hearts, and I ask you all to join in our sung response. It is Father's Day today, and we wish a happy Father's Day to those among you who are fathers. We're grateful to have the blessing of fathers in our lives, and we also know that it's a complicated holiday. So I want to take the centering space to kind of hold all that Father's Day might be meaning to us today. So will you please join me in a posture of prayer or centering? Okay. Spirit of life and source of love, let us lift up and hold love for those who have lost fathers, and for those fathers who have lost children. May we offer comfort and companionship in times of grief. We lift up and hold in love non-binary, transgender, and cisgender dads and families made of 2 dads and foster dads, adoptive dads, stepdads, divorced dads, and single dads too. We know that there are many ways to be a father, and we celebrate them all. We hold in love and color and those fathers raising children of color. We know that racism and white supremacy culture add challenges, anger, and heartbreak to raising a child. We vow to continue to do the work of dismantling systems of oppression. We hold fathers and children who have lost their connection, children who have been disavowed or abandoned by their fathers. May their emptiness be filled with the love that surrounds them, and may their hearts find healing. We hold fathers kept apart from their children by borders, by war, those fathers who have lost children in the war, and those children who have lost fathers. May we continue to be vigilant in our calling for peace. We hold those longing to become fathers. May their dreams be fulfilled and supported by their loved ones. We hold those who may be full of questions about their biological fathers, those who did not know their fathers well or at all. May your hearts and minds find comfort. And with the happiest of hearts, we celebrate and thank the dads, the papas, the daddies, all those who show up every day to give their all to the children who need them. Human relationships are complicated. These days of recognition are complex. Please take a moment in silence to breathe in what serves you today and breathe out what does not. Blessed be and amen. Our summer offering is being shared. Half of our offering is going to VEEP this summer. VEEP is a wonderful organization just over off Lindale that has, I believe, the state's largest food shelf and a lot of other basic need resources for folks who would have them. They're a wonderful organization. You can learn more about them at veap.org. I also just want to remind you that there's a QR code in the order of service, and there'll be one up on the screen. And for those on Zoom or YouTube, the QR code is there. You just aim your camera at it, and then it'll show a link to go to our website to donate there. I also want to remind you that you can just set up a regular donation. Like I think I set mine up for $20 a month since I never have cash on me and I'm busy on Sundays when the basket goes around. So that's another way that you can just participate in the Sunday sharing as well. Will the ushers please come forward to take the offering? Before we show that next video, Richard, I just want to, Gail just handed me a note and mentioned, and I think I saw this online too. Today is a Muslim holiday, Eid al-Adha. I don't know what that is. Does anybody know what that is? I thought Ramadan was a while ago.
Check Wikipedia.
Hold, please. Let's find out together, shall we? Let's have a learning moment so that we can recognize our Muslim neighbors if we see them today. And
My Uber driver was all dressed in white.
Wikipedia says, Feast of Sacrifice, second of two main Islamic holidays. honors the willingness of Abraham to sacrifice his son Ishmael as an act of obedience to God. So who said sacrifice? Somebody. Right. So Greg, you knew.
Yes.
There you go. So it's interesting that that's just a Muslim holiday, because that certainly falls under the whole umbrella of the Abrahamic traditions. Anyway, if you find some yourself in conversation with some of your Muslim neighbors today, or you see some of them dressed in their finery, we know what's going on. We turn our attentions right now to another holiday, Juneteenth, and I have a video for that. Richard, is it possible that you make sure that if there's captions that they're on for that? Because that, okay, great, thanks.
Juneteenth is a deeply emotional moment for enslaved people because for decades, for centuries, enslaved people prayed for, hoped for, fought for in the form of slave rebellions, running away, bought their freedom when they could. And if you read slave narratives, if you listen to spirituals from the era of slavery, you know that enslaved people longed for freedom. This was something that had been hoped for, but many believe may never come.
There is mortal promised to give me $40 a month in pay. Well, look to the boy today, what? They rather go free, you know.
Being able to go wherever they wanted, being able to wonder about. For enslaved people, it was an expression of their freedom.
Well, that photo was the one that long this photo, one of our white folks in Maryland. Just come along, we all sitting on the fence, and the colored children come along and asked her if she wanted to go with them. And she said yes, she mounted one of them horses. She went on with them. I never did see her and hit her no more.
When I think about Juneteenth, I think about it in the context of Emancipation Day celebrations that began January 1, 1863. They took on a whole new meaning when slavery was formally abolished after 1865. You would have had African-American veterans who fought in the Civil War be prominent in these celebrations, dressed in their military garb, speeches from enslaved people, the most prominent Black politicians singing of hymns, spirituals, discussions of registering to vote. Enslaved people celebrating in public their newfound freedom was an act of resistance. Because we have to remember, slavery came to an end after a 4 years bloody Civil War. Still the bloodiest conflict in American history. Many people in the South and in the nation who did not want to see slavery abolished fought tooth and nail to block the 13th Amendment. The abolition of slavery created a huge humanitarian crisis in the South. Suddenly 4 million people have very little means to take care of themselves, to support themselves, and do so in a really hostile environment. So the military was necessary to make sure that enslaved people got the food, the medicine, the shelter that they needed in order to survive. They're also there to protect, to the extent that that was possible, freed people from violence, from recriminations, from slaveholders, from Confederates who still hadn't given up the fight.
And I remember when the Yankees stopped here, and the Yankees stopped right on the corner of Square, And the prostitute people know. We go around field and they take them hang over the stone. That's the punishment they got. Next time they see it, they come a whole troop behind it. All riding horses. Good, hang on. I said, Mama, where are they going? They're all running home now.
When the last federal troops leave the South, it's a signal to Southerners. The federal government wasn't going to put its might into ensuring civil rights of Black people would be observed. You have 20, 30 years later, Black people being lynched in public, and there isn't a federal anti-lynching law to protect them. In most communities in America, there's a history of lynching and racial violence, and very few communities have marked that, commemorated that. Every decade since the end of slavery, Black people have been more educated, accrued more wealth, more status in American society. Every decade since 1865. But there's been one constant, and that constant is the presence of random racist violence. What I see in George Floyd's murder was a white police officer attempting to dominate and to subdue a Black man who was not resisting, who could not resist. Even though slavery came to an end in 1865, the desire to master and dominate Black bodies did not. And we have never dealt with that. These are the kinds of stark realities that are highlighted during Juneteenth. If Black people's lives can be expunged through racist violence and no one is held accountable, how free are we? Are we free?
That's a lot to think about. So let's talk about Juneteenth today. Juneteenth holds immense significance as a pivotal moment in American history, and it serves as a poignant reminder of the ongoing struggle for freedom, justice, and equality as it's related to race in this country. We make a mistake, however, if we regard Juneteenth as a Black-only holiday, right? As a Black-only holiday or celebration or day of remembrance. Indeed, it is not only that. It's a reminder of our commitment, of our commitment. As our commitment as Unitarian Universalists, this holiday is a reminder for us to continue our work in dismantling systemic racism and creating a more just and equitable world for future generations. This holiday invites all of us, regardless of race, to reflect, celebrate, learn, and take meaningful action toward building a society that honors the inherent worth and dignity of every person. And yes, that does include lifting up and celebrating, because this is a holiday that is both of those things, right? Juneteenth is important because it acknowledges our full and true history. Juneteenth commemorates the end of slavery in the United States, a history that has shaped the nation's identity and continues to impact its social, economic, and political landscape. by honoring Juneteenth, not just black people, but white people and non-black people of color acknowledge the reality of slavery and its enduring legacy of systematic racism and inequality in our country. And it's also important because unbridled truth-telling and how American history are told, those two things don't always go hand in hand, right? Unbridled truth-telling, American history as gets told. So honoring Juneteenth is exactly the sort of things that opponents of critical race theory want to avoid. But we know that facing our history and its ramifications is the only true path to healing the deep wounds of racism, which still have a broad effect in our country. Recognizing and participating in Juneteenth celebrations helps us on that journey, and it fosters cultural understanding and empathy. It provides opportunity for everyone to learn about experiences, struggles, and achievements of African Americans, gaining insight into perspectives and narratives that might be different from their own. Honoring Juneteenth also demonstrates solidarity and allyship with the African American community. Sends a message of support and affirmation, acknowledging the importance of racial justice and equality for all, and that work continues. By us actively participating in Juneteenth events and initiatives, we can show our commitment to standing alongside marginalized communities in the fight against oppression and justice. In that sense, it's kind of like, I don't want to, they're apples and oranges, but Pride is a similar thing, right? A lot of folks go and support Pride as allies. For those of us who are white or non-black people of color, this holiday also gives us an opportunity to confront our privilege and our bias. It can prompt deep reflection on how systems of oppression rooted in slavery and racism continue to privilege certain groups while disadvantaging others. This enables us to be more effective allies in the pursuit of equality and justice, with the goal of building a more inclusive and equitable society. Juneteenth promotes dialogue and understanding and collaboration across racial lines, fostering a sense of belonging and shared humanity. And by actively participating in Juneteenth commemorations and supporting efforts for racial justice beyond that, we contribute to the collective work of creating a society where all individuals are valued, respected, and empowered. There are several reasons why the celebration of Juneteenth is important. And one that I'm thinking I'm going to add to my list, I just want to put up front one huge reason to celebrate Juneteenth is simply Black joy, right? Too often in our culture, in our work, we lift up the things that are challenging and hard. We can feel bogged down, and it can feel like we're just in this uphill kind of thing. And I do not want to dismiss the joyful aspect of Juneteenth and the beauty that is Black joy, right? We see far too little of it in the media sometimes, and this is something that we need to see in our lives and recognize in our lives. So first and foremost, Juneteenth celebrates Black joy. Juneteenth, another important reason is it does commemorate the end of slavery in the United States. This is a huge historical moment for us as a country. It marks the day when enslaved African Americans in Texas finally learned of their freedom. This was 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation was issued, and the momentous occasion symbolizes the triumph of resilience and realization for freedom of millions of people, and the name Juneteenth comes from 19th and June kind of combined. That's when that happened. As I said earlier, the other important reason is historic recognition. I mean, this is an often overlooked moment of history. We kind of lift up the Civil War a lot, but we don't lift up the Emancipation as much as we should, right? And so this is lifting that up, and that's tremendously important for us to do, not just Civil War, a million books written on the Civil War and movies and all this kind of stuff. We really need to be honoring the history that lies underneath that and what it really meant. So how are some ways that you can celebrate and honor Juneteenth? First is you can educate yourself. You can take time to learn the significance of Juneteenth. That's an easy Google search and you'll find all sorts of things. And you can read about the history of Juneteenth throughout the country, how it's been celebrated, or how the emancipation has been celebrated on different days in different communities. Learn about that. You can read books, watch documentaries, or attend lectures that explore the enslaved African Americans' legacy in America. You can check out books at the local library or bookstore. In fact, if you go there now, there are usually book lists, recommended lists. I was just at the library over on York, and they had a Juneteenth section with recommended readings, so check those out, and bookstores probably have those things as well. You can support Black-owned businesses, right? Show your support for the African American community by patronizing Black-owned businesses, whether that's shopping at local stores, dining at Black-owned restaurants. I think Penn Lake roast beef, in case anybody needs a really good roast beef sandwich, is a Black-owned business. I'm not sure of other Black-owned businesses in Bloomington, but a quick Google search will find you some Black-owned businesses to support locally in the Twin Cities, so check that out. And it's also a great way to support small businesses as well.
There's something called Heel. It's a plant-based restaurant in Minneapolis.
Oh.
Which is really good. The name of the restaurant is Heel.
Heal, plant-based food. Oh, see, you're doing environmental justice and supporting a Black-owned business and a small business at the same time.
They also do meals.
Great. Check it out. Google search things. Try something new. There's also a store in the Mall of America. I can't remember the name of it, but they specialize in things from Black-owned businesses. So there's different areas of the store that are done by different local designers. It's clothing mostly. Likewise, if you're looking for a particular kind of business or service, you can quick Google search that. When Emily and I moved from St. Paul to Bloomington a couple years ago, we searched Black-owned moving companies and found one, and we're still working on figuring out some printed t-shirts and materials using our new logo, but I searched that too, Black-owned print shops, and so when we were looking for stuff that we would look for print shops that were Black-owned and union shops. So if you're looking for a particular service, you can just Google that service and Black-owned, and you might find some options as well. You can also attend Juneteenth services, or celebrations rather, events in your community. These might include parades or festivals, cultural performances that honor African American heritage and history, and participating in these activities fosters a sense of belonging and solidarity within the community. Now last year, Bloomington had one, but I don't think they are having one this year. I didn't, are they? Yesterday. Oh, there you go. They had it yesterday. I missed it. I was babysitting. Dang. But today, from 1 to 4, there's one in St. Louis Park, if you're interested in checking it out. And then there's another celebration in Edina from 4 to 8 on Wednesday, on actual June 19th. Both events are family-friendly, free, and they feature Black vendors, speakers, entertainment, and food. So check those out. Does anybody else know of any Juneteenth celebrations still happening? Centennial Park. I just know these ones are still coming up. So there's the one in St. Louis Park today, and there's one in Edina, and if you just search Juneteenth and the names of those towns, I'm sure they'll come up right away. So check those out. Another way to celebrate is just reflect and take action. Take time to reflect on the meaning of Juneteenth and its relevance to contemporary issues. How might you contribute, or what are you doing in your life on a daily basis to fight for justice, equality, and liberation? Whether it's volunteering with organizations that work towards racial equity, advocating for policy change, or engaging conversations about race and privilege, every action counts toward creating a more inclusive and equitable society. And that can also include maybe you're doing volunteer work with, not necessarily an organization that's centered on anti-racism, but is that organization, take VEEP, for example, right? We do a lot of work with VEEP. Do they have, are they doing anti-racism work within their organization? I can't imagine that they're not. They seem like a very...
Yes, they have done that in the past.
Yes.
We had some seminars.
Right.
And teach-ins for the staff and volunteers.
Right. So VEEP is doing that good work. I know some volunteer organizations that I've been in make sure that they include anti-racism work within their internal work. If you're involved in any volunteer organizations, or any organizations for that matter, check with them and see what kind of work they're doing, or at your places of employment, what are they doing? Like, everybody should be at least acknowledging that there's work to be done and starting wherever they need to start. By celebrating and honoring Juneteenth, we pay tribute to the resilience and courage of those who fought for freedom and equality, while also renewing our commitment of the pursuit of justice and liberation for all, and also recognizing that Black joy that is so amazing to celebrate whenever we can celebrate that. And there's no better blessing that we can have in the world than those things. I just want to talk a little bit about our final hymn here today. So our final hymn is number 149 in the gray hymnal, which is Lift Every Voice and Sing, which is often referred to as the Black National Anthem. And it is a very, very, very powerful song. But it's often sung without context, and at times it's sung with a lot of unintentionalness and a lack of oomph. So I'm going to offer these words from a colleague, Reverend Aisha Asano, to prepare us for this beloved hymn. She writes, "When you sing, lift every voice and sing. Do you pay close attention to the words? It's easy on a Sunday morning to open a hymnal and sing along without necessarily processing what we're saying, what the words are really saying, and what they mean." From this hymn, sing a song full of faith that the dark past has taught us. Bitter the chastening rod felt in the days when hope unborn had died. We have come over a way that with tears has been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered. Powerful, powerful words. The song deserves to be sung with attention. It is a song that starkly names the horrors and violence of racism in this country, and it is a song that should make us uncomfortable with the history that it calls upon, uncomfortable with the fact that the struggle for racial justice continues and has not come quite so far as it should have by now. How can anyone sing the words, treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered, without feeling some deep, deep discomfort? So when we sing this song, will you join in singing it with intentionality? Will you join in singing it with deep discomfort that those who are African American will feel in singing those words? Discomfort with pain and horror that those refer back to, and discomfort with the fact that those words do not only refer to a distant history, but also what is happening now. Will you commit to singing with your own discomfort? And then, will you tap into that discomfort and do something? Will you lift up your voice and sing until the earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty? So we're going to play a video, and we're going to sing this song, and you feel that discomfort, but also feel it alongside your commitment to making sure that that Black joy gets lifted up more and more and celebrated until that becomes the norm of race in this country.
Rejoicing, rise high as the listening.
Will you all please join me in the words for extinguishing our chalice today? We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Our closing words today are from President Barack Obama. Juneteenth has never been a celebration of victory or an acceptance of the way things are. It's a celebration of progress. It's an affirmation that despite the most painful parts of our history, change is possible, and there is still so much more work we can do. So let's do that.